Let me paint the picture for you. You come up with a brilliant idea. It comes directly out of a complaint from a client. You know how to fix it, but it is going to require more than you can do by yourself. You go to your boss and share it. She says no. Now let me put the shoe on the other foot. You are in the middle of a project. Your team member barges into your office. You're on the phone. They've got a great idea and you just don't have the time. You say no. Do either of those scenarios sound familiar? Kotter's fifth principle for change is to enable action by removing barriers. The leaders in this scenario were creating barriers. Where do you think these types of barriers lead? Yep, you're already thinking this through. A demoralized team member, lack of productivity. And if it happens repeatedly, team members will stop trying to innovate. The innovation wheels stop turning completely. Now let's take a step back, because you as a leader know that there is often good reason for saying no. And you would be right. Elad Sheff and his colleagues write an excellent article in the Harvard Business Review, which point out that many organizations are set up so that team leaders are not empowered to change. If I as a leader am required to go through a significant process of approvals and meetings to change anything, is it really going to be worth my while? I barely have the headspace for my own projects. The more hurdles I must jump, the less inclined I am to empower my team to change as well. And company reviews, KPIs and targets are all set up to keep us focused on short-term success. So where is the space for change and thus possible failure? Where is the space in our organisation to dream, to innovate and to change? So how can we change? When your team leader can't change and our organisational structure doesn't encourage change? How do you as the key decision maker encourage change when you feel the pressure to keep that bottom line positive? If you are a business leader, you need to understand that if you don't change, your organisation will cease to exist. If you don't encourage innovation and failure, our talent will leave. Change, failure and mistakes, because we are innovating, are actually the things that are going to keep our bottom line positive for the long term. If that causes a bit of anxiety, contact me and we can work on it together. Or if you're a part of a team, I want you to understand that your role is to lead up. Understand that organisational structures don't encourage change. So don't blame your team leader. Flick this podcast to them. Print the HBR article I'm referring to. Help them to understand the need for change without the blame game. When we start taking the no's personally and start blaming our leaders, we are on the road to our exit. In some situations that might be necessary, but I encourage you first to try to work things out. It is better for everyone. Let me change directions. Leaders and managers are not the only barrier to change. A person may need upskilling. They may need extra resource or help for a project. And when we as team leaders can provide these things, you are not only making the work possible, you are communicating that your team member is valuable. You are encouraging them to reach above their station, and you are leading a person in a way so that when they lead, they will be a remover of barriers too. Steve Jobs grew one of the largest companies in the world, and he says, it doesn't make sense to hire smart people and tell them what to do. We hire smart people so that they can tell us what to do. If you want your team to act smart, treat them like they are smart. If this podcast hits home, call me. If you are a team leader, I offer executive one-on-one coaching packages that could help you over the next 10 months to create a strategy to get to where you want to go. If you are the key decision maker and are trying to make changes in your organization and having no success, you need to call me. You understand your product, I understand people, and I can help you to navigate your greatest asset, your people, so that your organization can become more innovative, productive, and agile.